Don't forget to press the subscribe button and click the bell icon to stay up to date with all our videos. Alright, so welcome back, and in this tutorial we will dive into Firebase. We'll be creating a project, and after creating a project we will look into how to add like words and definitions into the Firebase and also retrieve it from Firebase. So first of all, I have already created a database project which is the dict, and if I go into it, I have a database which I did some trial and error to get some values running. So at this point we have two things, word and a meaning assigned to it. So let's go into the code, and I have even added a Firebase file, and in this Firebase file, as you can see, let me show you. As you can see here, I have created two functions, or I mean like exported two functions. One is the word ref, and second is the meaning ref. So this will be just initializing the database, and this word ref is just a reference to this particular item and or key, and this is meaning is reference to this particular key. So every time I call this and set it, is going to update this database. So let's try and update something. So we are in the API call, and if I want to update something, so let me just update console, no, not console, but word ref dot set. Set is the way how you assign it, and I'll need to put in a value. So I'll put the word to it. That's a state, right? So I'll put that, and in the meaning ref, I'll just put dot set, and I'll put it meaning, and meaning we don't have it right now. So var meaning equals to this thing what we get from the API. So I'll remove this whole console log, and I'll put this here, and I think that's it. And I just need to import meaning ref. It didn't auto import it, so meaning ref, which is good, and let's just give it a try. So right now let's imagine we don't have this, and this just ran, and it's supposed to update this. See, so it means that this is working fine. So this is great. So now our thing is that we don't want it to run it just once. We want it to run it on every click, on every search. When I type a word, hello, and I search it, it's supposed to do that. So how am I going to do that? So first of all, I'll create a function, const on search, and in the on search, what I'll do is I will pass in the word which I get from this guy. So we don't really need state in this at this point, because what are we using state for? Nothing, right? In this scenario, we take a word, we process it through the API. If we get the correct output, we pass that output into the database. That's it. And if there's an error, we need to showcase an error. So we will need an error state, but we don't need the word state anymore. I'll just remove this word, and I'll just keep the error at this point, and we will remove word as well because we don't need this, because we will be passing it at this stage. So set word is something we don't want as well. Okay, so this is good, and I will copy and paste from this guy into this function, cut and paste. Okay, this word we have it already, and we don't need this word because this is an identifier. So word, which is good, and this is supposed to be async. Wait, this is good. Okay, error, which is perfect, and here I need to return. If there's something wrong, I'll just return it. Else, what I'll do is I'll just go through this procedure. So now we can completely remove this whole thing. We don't want the API call here, and meaning this is good, and also word ref dot set word, and on every call what I want here is on search, and on search is the value. I think this should work as we expect, but I'll just need to remove this thing word. So let's just give it a try. So let's just put something rubbish, and we are supposed to get an error, and we don't want to do any API call, so we need to API call is okay, it's working, it's not breaking anything, so that's fine. For okay, it was supposed to put into, oh, okay, see here it updated for, and now we get something here. Let me try something else. Filter. Okay, see, it's updating. So this is great. This is something what we expect. Now the thing is that what we need is in the result component, we would like to see that we are getting an output. So how are we going to do that? Now let's take a look at the .on function of Firebase. So as you can see here, we have this result block, and whenever I do something, let's say glad, if I do something, enter, okay, it's gonna update this, and which is great, and we would like to see the results at this point. So how are we going to do that? Let's update the result block. First of all, I'll have to use the useEffect function. useEffect, in this function we will do our API calls. So it's supposed to take a function, and as you know, an empty array. Okay, so at this point what we will be doing is we will be calling the firebase.on function. This is a reference as we have already taken in our firebase.js file. So we have the reference to word as well as the meaning. So we need to call it inside our result block and just call a .on function on there. So we will be doing word ref.on. First parameter should be value, and the second is supposed to be a function, and it's snap. We just need to, and if you want to see what snap is, so we can do it like this: console.log snap.value, and we will do the same thing for meaning. So meaning ref, the same thing, and this is looking good at the moment. Let's check what do we get in the console. Alright, so we have glad and pleased and delight, as you can see in the database. If I put in something, let's say search is supposed to change, which it did, so which is great. So this thing is working as expected, and let's even change the state of this. So const, I'll need a couple of states. So first will be word, and set word will be use state empty string, and let me call in state as well. Okay, const meaning set meaning use state, which is good. Okay, in this one, instead of console logging, we will just set it. So set word equals to snap.value. Okay, set meaning will be set.value. Alright, so this is good, and at this point let me put up word and meaning. Alright, great. So let's check out. Okay, perfect. Search, try to find, look, gaze. Perfect, this is working as expected. So one issue is that, let's say if I have an error. So here is an error. And the next time if I look for something, language is going to show up, but the error is not going to go away. So we can handle this really easily. We can go into the input, and if there is an error, show the error, else just set it to empty. So set error to empty string, which is great. Alright, so let's take a look. I'll do something. Okay, there's an error. Now if I do a match, perfect, the error goes away. So this is great, and as you know that this is coming from a database, so you don't really need to see this. This can be on every page. So let me open another file and just another browser, and let's do the same thing. You might see a match there. See this? There is a match right there. So if I play around with this browser, the other one, okay, let me just minimize it. Alright, so let's do this. So if I do something like search, it's gonna change here as well. So what we are going to do here is that for the big screens, we just want to see this thing, and for the small screens, I don't want to see the output. I just want to see the input. So you can add a feature to add like a view as well for the result, but for our tutorial we won't. So this is working as expected, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.